Life is complex, so is our mental health. It cannot be understood by diagnosis alone. Our philosophy is treat the person, not the mental illness. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Humanizing Mental Health. I think I'm Trent Akers.
And I'm Jeremy Alcorn.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just said that because we didn't know we were having some recording issues. But, that kind of, you never know if you're quite on yet or not. And it all comes down to a bit of perspective, like, did I do that right?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, because that, of course, is part of the big part of our conversation today.
Mm-hmm.
Took a while for us to refine what we're going to do, but we're realizing, hey, you know what? We've had these interesting reflective points about our own process in therapy lately, and kind of leading us in a direction to have something to process together with you, our listeners.
Yeah. Yeah, and as the lights turn on, that was an illuminating idea. So maybe we should give them a bit of perspective, because the other day, I had just finished with a client, and the details of the appointment really don't matter, but I texted you because I was kind of in a moment of crisis, and I was like, because usually at the end of my appointments, I kind of say to them, what did you get out of our time together, our talk together? And, usually people will bring up points or, like an interesting technique that we talked about or some insight that really resonated with them. But I also frequently get, it was just nice to have someone to talk to. And, at that moment, it's like, I think to myself, have I slipped into just being a really good coffee date?
Yeah, and realistically, a rather expensive coffee date.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And it's like, because it's like, well, like we've talked about the core conditions and the trans-theoretical model of change, and that paper No More Bells and Whistles, where it talks about the fact that the relationship is the biggest indicator of success. But I think, too, like, as we were talking about, I think therapists have different expectations of what it means to have a successful session than a client.
Yeah, it may very well be the case. I think a lot of this comes from what is inside of us, so what it is that we want to do. Like when someone comes into an appointment, I want to affect transformative change in their life.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But yeah, like I want to give them a skill, or put together the puzzle pieces in a new way that helps them to fundamentally shift.
Yeah, for sure. I feel kind of like Sherlock Holmes, that is like, okay, here we go. We have this certain outcome that we're trying to get to, and we need to find the path that is going to take us to that outcome. And in our training, we're trained to keep outcome as the primary focus throughout, and that it is our responsibility to help negotiate the process towards that outcome.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, like that's one of the big fundamental pieces that's kind of the flag on the hill that we kind of aim for, is the client's goals. And sometimes some clients come in with like very clear goals. Like I had one guy the other day who was like, I want to learn about the biology behind my anxiety and like what causes that. And it's like, ooh, perfect. Okay, yeah, here, let me get my charts. We're going to sit down. We're going to talk about this. But then other times too, you get people and they're like, I don't really know why I'm here.
Sure. Or a vague position of, I want help. I'm struggling in life, but somehow maybe anticipate that we're going to be the ones that create the process and plan.
Yeah. Like we're the catalyst for the change.
Sure.
And I don't know if we're really the catalyst so much as we're like the magnifying glass or the cabinet where the chemicals are taken out of.
Yeah, for sure. The individual that's just like, my life feels like it's unmanageable, I'm looking for you to fix it, also is very difficult when someone comes in, because we go, well, we actually have to co-create this. I don't know all of the details of your life, nor would I presume to be able to know what's better for you. To be able to just tell you how to fix it. Well, then I don't know that will actually turn out well.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I've had a few clients that are like, well, what should I do? And I'm like, oh, I can give you suggestions, things to try, but you don't know if that's actually going to work. Like there is no guarantee that CBT or that doing sleep hygiene or whatever it is, or even hypnosis,
right.
Even though that is powerful. Like,
sure.
There has to be a certain level of buy-in
for
the client.
Sure. And a number of different things bring people in, for sure. So so we come back to that original notion. We go, the person that comes in and they say, well, I just really felt good to be able to have a place to talk about this, is a bit of a sad statement in our society too.
Oh, yeah, no, and I thought about that too as well. Like, because that should really be the goal of like naturalized supports, like to be able to sit down and to be heard by family, friends, siblings, whatever it may be, by your community, by your tribe, as you so aptly put it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get into that place then when someone is with us and they say it was really good. We as therapists want to go, that's not enough. We want to go, that was a starting point, and we have to have that attuned or engaged, whatever you want to say. We need to be lined up. And from there, then, it's anticipated that we'll take a deeper step, that there will be a willingness to truly become vulnerable, engage. But the reason we ask the question at the end of the appointment, what did you get out of this? What are you taking away? Is because we want them to integrate this and use it in their life.
Yeah, find some meaning, because like you and I are both private practitioners. It doesn't matter like what price people are paying. Like, our services are not cheap. But yeah, so we want them, like, our job is for us to work ourselves out of a job. If people are just coming back time and time again, we have to think to ourselves, A, are we being effective? Or B, are they truly engaged in the process?
Sure. And we can't help at times but think, is there something that's going on here that is related to me in this therapy that is not actually giving the person what they need? Absolutely. There was a time when multiple people were in and out within about 4 appointments. They would have come in, addressed what they needed to address, and had completed. And therapy shouldn't be about me. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely, yeah.
But it really felt good.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
It felt good that these people were resolving things. There's this flow of new people coming in. Yep, come in. We'll fix it. You'll move on. If you need me again, come back for a tune-up.
Absolutely. Like there was this straightforward process. You had this clear, linear movement forward, which is something that I've got to admit, that is one of the most frustrating things sometimes about being a therapist, is that seeing true, honest growth is very rare to see, where you're getting to that brief solution-focused therapy.
Yeah. And lots of people, like the majority of people that come in, do have benefits. They benefit from the experience. Most everyone does. And at the same time, I guess that really is to a certain degree about us, isn't it? But I don't want you to just benefit. I want you to become the butterfly, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
to break free from
To-
this and
yeah.
move into the next beautiful part of your life, who you can become.
To go through that Mr. Miyagi like montage,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like where we're teaching and Daniel's son, like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, beats the tournament,
Yeah.
you know, and they can look back and they can say, yeah, like, you know, my therapist gave this beautiful reflection, or, you know, this metaphor, and that impacted me in that way. And I can look up on the shining hill and go, yes, that was me.
Right.
Yes, you know, or I just have this moment where, you know, like you are for some people, like where they're going back through their history, and you're like, you were securely attached to your parents, and do you see the thread through there? And it's like,
Right.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But you know what, again, too, that's our own ego.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Yes, I agree with that. That our ego is related to it. That we need to be effective, and we need to make a difference. It's why we're doing what we're doing, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's the reason that we decided to do this work, is because we wanted to make a difference.
Yeah. And you know, you were talking about goals. You know, some of the hardest people, or some of the hardest clients that I find have goals, are kids. Kids don't have goals. In my mind, like, a lot of them they're either A, they just want to be there to talk, or B, they're there because their parents tell them to be there.
and you probably had the order in terms of how many come in. It was A is you have to be here.
Yeah, and then the kids are, oh yeah, look at the kids. What do you want to talk about today? I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
I was like, okay, well, how's everything going? And you just kind of build a relationship, and
yeah, for sure.
And you just kind of go on there. Yeah.
So it is something that's interesting. I think for people that would be looking at, or who have received therapy, to kind of get that insight into what's going on for their therapist, because the appointments really are not about us, but there's always two people in therapy, and it is this interpersonal process that is the intervention, that is bringing about that change. And so what we bring into the room is important. Our expectations, our desires become very important.
Yeah, like, you know, like I think the easiest thing to do, like, for clients to understand, or potential clients, or people that have been in therapy before, like when you go in for your initial appointment, you know, like there are some standard things, like we go through, we do confidentiality, but really what it is for a therapist is, at least from my point of view, is I'm sitting there, I'm listening to the client, I'm trying to see, okay, what information are they giving me? Trying to like summarize, understand that, and then what's the issue? How is that related? What, you know, what do I feel that they're needing, that they're missing? You know, maybe what theoretical perspective can I pull from? And then too, I'm trying to also kind of keep the flow of the narrative at the same time too, and make sure that they know that I'm listening to them.
Yeah, exactly. It's like step one, person comes in and there's engagement and the informed consent is gathered. Step two, problem definition.
Yeah.
So as a therapist, then we become very curious and interested in what is happening in their life and defining a problem that is shared between the both of us. And then step three, what is it that we're going to do with this concern that we understand? And so to hear someone at the end of an appointment say, well, it was just really good to be able to have a space to talk, then it's like, but you could have done that with anybody that you trust, that's not skilled. Any person that could listen, you could have done that with. And for us, it feels like the value that is not there. Not that we don't feel valued necessarily per se, but
no,
but
like
the effectiveness, the value that was intended for this was not there.
Yeah, the skills, the insight, like even the various tools is like, okay, well, that's not really what you needed. You just needed to be listened to. It's like going to a wood carver and asking, you know, and then just saying to him, "We'll chop down a tree."
Mm.
It's like, okay, well, I can chop down a tree, but I can do so much more with that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And at the same time, we don't want to be in a spot in which we invalidate them,
Oh no.
but we're looking for how do we get them to take that next step? But what if that's not what they want?
Mm-hmm.
What if that's not what they're looking for?
Yeah, like if they're just looking for a safe place to cathart,
Mm-hmm.
to just let it out.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, okay, but if they're coming in, like let's say every 2 weeks to just let it out and then go out, well, aren't we just being a Band-Aid?
Yeah. Or even worse, the potential fear. Are we actually becoming part of the problem?
Mm-hmm.
That is, instead of them actively doing something to shift some things in their life, instead they're just coming and then letting go for an hour once every other week and going back to
the same old patterns.
Yeah. And in which case, then that would be exactly the opposite of what we were wanting to do. Instead of helping them break patterns, we're actually cementing the patterns in place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is quite a fear. Because I mean, like, even sometimes too, like, I've even gone. As I'm now starting to develop my career, like just within the last few months here, I'm really starting to challenge clients and be like, you know what, like we've, like, do you actually want to work on this? Or they'll say, well, what should I do about this? And I'd be like, well, we have gone over some skills, and like,
Mm-hmm.
like, what would you think about putting those in place?
Mm-hmm. Sure. And of course, the way in which you present that is one that comes from a place of relationship, right?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I'm not like scolding them, like,
Mm-hmm.
whoosh.
Yeah.
No, like I'm like, I may be a little bit sterner, but I
Mhm.
mean, like that is what it means to have like a good trusting relationship
Mm-hmm.
where they know that like this is coming out of a place of compassion.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. In fact, for myself, having been on either side of the couch, that is providing therapy since about 2005, and also having been into my own therapy, I couldn't help but, you can't divorce yourself from your own knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But being on the other side of the couch and going, what is it that I was looking for in therapy? And I was looking for transformational change. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be able to get in, see the blind spots that I have, and be able to know how can I then rework my internal self so that I'm able to engage in a different way.
Mm-hmm. And I almost wonder though, were your goals for therapy and the reason why you wanted that transformational change a function of the fact that you knew what therapy could do because you're a practitioner?
Well, I was also worried. I was like, I'm going to come in, and if somebody's going to be talking to me about cognitive schema and they're going to talk about, distorted thinking patterns, I'm going to be like, you're fired. Like, come on, you think I don't know this? What are you actually going to say to me that I don't already know?
Yeah, and I remember like there's been a few times where you and I have had some conversations where you're like, damn, I should have just hired you as my therapist.
Right.
But a lot of that is just using like the basic reflective and like basic active listening, like core Rogerian skills, like of open-ended questions.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's why they're so valuable.
Sure, that's what I really found worked for me, was as the person gave a human response, but also these reflective statements, and sometimes some of their own interpretations,
Mm-hmm.
or some of their own in the moment responses to what I was saying.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like that reflective insight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it allowed me to then connect things together in a new way.
Yeah.
And was what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then too, and I think this is the magic thing, is that even if people just going back to what we've said before, even if people say, it was just really good to talk and just let it out. Well, okay, well, what are you going to do now? Maybe that's what I need to ask my clients is, okay, now that you've let this out, now that you have these extra spoons, if you want to use spoon theory, or this space in your window of tolerance, what are you going to do with that space?
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that. If the individual is saying, I needed a place to be able to let this out, let it go, and if it opened up more space for them, then how are you going to take that to engage in a new way into your life?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's curious because
but
it's really kind of a serve and return there. You served saying, what are you taking away? Their return was it just needed to talk.
Okay, so yeah.
But then if you return it back to them again, I wonder what would happen, because the message they were saying was this was enough. I wonder if it's sent back, because the message a little bit is, okay, yeah, that's not enough. There needs to be more that happens as a result of what we've just talked about. And how are you going to, I wonder how that would go. I wonder what that response would be, if it would create a misalignment, or because they don't want that, or if it would take them to the next level.
Well, but they'd have to choose to. They'd have to choose to dig a little deeper, to gain a little bit more insight. And I think that's like, because really what I look at mental health, because one thing I love to do, and I'll end up I work out all the time, and I work out with a personal trainer because I need to, and my one personal trainer that I'm working with right now quite a bit, Rachel. She's a wonderful lady, power lifter, amazing. But as we talk, I really notice that there is so much similarity between a personal trainer and a mental health therapist. And and I almost think to myself, it's because the mental health therapist or the trainer, we can set it up, but then it's what are you going to do? What are you going to carry forward?
Yeah, for sure.
Also the person has to choose to do that.
Yeah, one of the big themes that jumps out to me as we have this conversation is really about the individual growth is something that ultimately in the end is theirs. Yeah. And when someone is coming into therapy, they get to start wherever they're at in terms of what they need. And at the same time, is there an internal motivator that is about wanting your life to be different?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we can't give that to somebody.
No, we can't. That's part of the reason why people say, oh, well, CBT didn't work, the CBT skills didn't work for me, the mindfulness skills didn't work for me. Well, how often are you practicing them?
Sure.
It's about creating those new neural connections in the brain.
Yeah.
It's about working with those parts and those pieces to bring that internal family back into harmony. You can't just snap your fingers and go, boom, I'm healthy. This is not a pill.
Yeah, you read my mind.
Yeah.
Because people go to their doctor and they expect their doctor to give them something to make them better. And that concept doesn't even actually work either.
No.
The doctor only changes the circumstances that your body is in for your body to heal itself, because no doctor can heal you.
Absolutely. Or the thing is, sure, you can take the pill and it can change your neurochemistry. But the minute you stop taking the pill, your neurochemistry will go back. If you use the other skills and insight and help to change that underlying structure, that's meaningful change.
Sure. Or even if you're talking about someone has an infection, antibiotics do not cure the person. The antibiotics change the circumstances, putting their body back into a place where their body can then heal. And so I think that we just got so caught up often, the individuals that think I go to therapy and the therapist then is the one that heals me. And while I think that there are healing qualities that people have that are very helpful, that it really is about them getting them to that place where they can find their own healing. And so maybe at times, maybe that's part of the struggle, is that people are looking to be passive in their change, just like we are often passive when we go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. They're looking for the healer to heal them, but really it comes down to, you are the healer. Heal thyself.
Right. I'll show you the path.
Yeah, or I can only show you the door, but you're the one that has to walk through it, Morpheus.
I should have picked the other pill.
Dang it. And I don't know, I think this kind of brings back into the idea of psychedelics. I mean, if people are really looking for something to heal them like that, that's why you have to engage with the medicine. But that's a conversation for another day.
But you're right. That ran through my head too. That it's the same sort of thing. If someone wants to use psilocybin or ketamine or something, and they think that the drug is going to then change them, that's not how it works. Same thing, that notion of integration. It is about the integrative process of taking something that was an experience and bringing about change. That's the same thing that we do every single appointment at the end when we say, what is it that you're taking away from today? Is we're trying to get that integrative process to happen so that they can make a difference more in their life.
Yeah. Wow. What a perfect thing to end on. And as, what are you going to integrate from today's conversation, Jer?
Yeah, well, I think the big piece for me is going to be patience. Like, that people are on their own path and that I can work with something over time. So someone says to me, it's just a great space for me to be able to let go of what's happening for me. And I can think, well, that's what we accomplished today. And hopefully next time we accomplish more.
I love that. Yeah. And I think that's something, that, that even looking back on it, I hope that they come back, and I hope we have the opportunity to accomplish more. And I think, I'm going to try out that statement that I said before, that I'm glad that you got that space in your window of tolerance. What are you going to choose to do with that? Yeah. Awesome. But on that note, I'm Trent Akers.
And I'm Jeremy Alcorn.
See you next time.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope that this message has been as meaningful to you as it has been to us. If you're looking for help, you can find us on Facebook at Humanizing Mental Health.